He stole my work, word for word, and presented it to our commanding officers as if he'd done everything himself. But what he didn't realize was that I was about to expose him, without even trying. And when the truth came out in front of the entire brigade, he lost more than just credibility. He lost his pride. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who took credit for your hard work, hit that like button. Because this story proves that karma doesn't always need your help. Sometimes, it handles things on its own. I still remember the cold air biting my face as we stepped off the plane in Japan. It was sometime in the early 2010s, a massive military exercise involving multiple units, and tensions were high. At that time, I was a fresh second lieutenant, my job, intelligence officer for our unit. I was green, ambitious, and hungry to prove myself. For weeks before deployment, I'd poured everything I had into a briefing: enemy courses of action, possible countermeasures, threat analysis, logistical vulnerabilities. Every slide, every word was crafted with precision. When I presented it to my commander, he leaned back, smiled, and said, "Lieutenant, this is one of the best briefings I've ever seen." Those words? They lit a fire in me. Because in the military, praise like that is rare. It meant something. So when we landed in Japan, I was confident. Ready. But then reality hit. It didn't take long for us to realize the operation wasn't going as planned. Another unit, one we were supposed to rely on, did the exact opposite of what was expected. Their moves completely changed our strategy. That meant I had to rewrite parts of my original plan, fast. I stayed up half the night building an addendum briefing, adjusting enemy movement predictions and threat zones. The next morning, I handed my revised analysis to a major, the Brigade S2, basically the head of intelligence for the entire brigade. I respected him. I thought he'd appreciate the work and maybe give me feedback. So I said, "Sir, here's what I came up with. Let me know if you have any notes or concerns." He looked at me briefly, nodded, and said, "Got it." That was it. No. Thank you? No. Good work. Just. Got it. Something about his tone felt off. An hour later, we had a major briefing with senior officers, including the brigade commander. I sat there in the corner, headset on, watching the presentation unfold on the screen. Then I froze. Because the slides the major was showing? The phrasing, the structure, even the highlighted points, were mine. Word for word. My exact briefing, stolen. Presented as his own work. I felt my stomach twist. The room blurred around me. I couldn't even speak, just sat there, jaw clenched, while he confidently rattled off my sentences as if he'd written them. And to make it worse, people were nodding, taking notes, praising him. My blood boiled. I wanted to stand up, shout, "That's mine!" But you don't just interrupt a senior officer mid-briefing. Not in the army. Not unless you have a death wish. So I sat there, silent. Burning. Later that day, my commander called me over during another update call. He handed me the headset and said, "Lieutenant, answer this." The brigade commander, the major's boss, was on the line. He asked me about a random incident that happened the day before, a small, irrelevant skirmish, nothing significant to our operation. He said sharply, "Why didn't you report this?" Now, normally the major, the S2, would have prepped that answer. But since he'd stolen my analysis, he didn't understand the bigger picture. So I spoke clearly and calmly. "Sir, to my knowledge, that event seemed isolated, possibly a criminal element or local disturbance. There's no indication it's tied to enemy movement. I've logged it, and we're watching for patterns, but our focus should remain on enemy elements that could actually compromise our operations." Then I dove deeper. I walked the commander through threat clusters, enemy intent, vulnerabilities, and exactly where our real danger lay. The line went quiet. Then the brigade commander said, "That's a damn good assessment." And just like that, the tone shifted. My commander looked at me, nodded slightly, and said, "Good work, Lieutenant." The Major? He was standing in the back, stiff as a board. His face said everything. He'd just been exposed. Unintentionally. By me. That night, back at the barracks, I was heading to my bunk when I heard boots behind me. It was him, the Major. He stormed up, red-faced, jaw tight. "Lieutenant," he snapped, "you made me look bad in front of the brigade commander." I turned slowly, still calm from the earlier victory. "Sir," I said evenly, "had you talked to me before the briefing, I could have walked you through my process. But if you're going to steal someone's work, don't blame them when it doesn't go the way your boss wanted." He froze. The captain standing beside me stifled a laugh. The Major's nostrils flared. His pride shattered. He muttered something under his breath and stormed off. That was the last real conversation we ever had. I didn't report him. Didn't spread rumors. Didn't need to. The higher-ups already knew who had the real analytical skill, and who was just pretending. I never heard much about the Major after that. Maybe he got promoted. The Army tends to do that with certain people. But deep down, I knew the truth. His reputation took a hit that day. He tried to make himself look brilliant, and ended up exposing his incompetence to the entire chain of command. And all I had to do was tell the truth. Sometimes revenge doesn't need to be planned. Sometimes people hang themselves with the same rope they used to pull you down. Karma works quietly, and when it strikes, it's perfectly timed. If this story gave you that satisfying chill of justice, smash that like button right now. Comment below, have you ever seen someone get exposed by their own lies? And don't forget to subscribe for more real Reddit revenge stories where karma serves justice better than any plan ever could.